just with a 5-6. So it really is a battle between the difficulty and just how clean those gymnasts can do that routine. So going to be very exciting, and Alex is falling right in the middle there with a 5-8. So yeah, this could be, you know, we've had the likes of Daniel Keatings, Lewis Smith, Max Whitlock. If Alex can put a good routine out there, it's one of those apparatus where quite often you see somebody that comes in very young, not really expecting to do much, and there's an opportunity with a few mistakes from the big names, they could sneak in there. So yeah, very exciting.
There's the fourth highest qualifier, Manukyan. It's worth a mention actually that Rhys McClenaghan's not here. He's not out to defend this title. He's had shoulder surgery, isn't he?
Yeah, he's recovering, and I'm sure he'll be watching this. But he is in the gym, he is training, and obviously it's strange not to have Rhys or Max. It will have been a long time since we've had neither of them in a final.
Yes, it's the new breed that are coming out. And here is Alex, look, making his World Championship debut. Alexander Yolshin-Cash, 20 years old. Hello, Nottingham. Everybody's cheering. We can hear you from Salford. We can. No doubt. Alex will hear you out in Indonesia as well. That's the way. But yeah, let's hand to commentary to Christine Still and to Craig Heap, and I will make my way over to you for no doubt what is going to be a nail-biting, a gripping pommel horse world final.
Thank you, Matt. And yes, it will be a gripping pommel horse final. Probably contested as much as the floor. We've got some really big names here, but excited to see the young breed of British pommel horse workers coming through with Alexander Yolshin-Cash. Big hopes, qualified in 7th place, so again, no real expectation. He wants to just go out there and enjoy it. Christine, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, great to see somebody really shining on pommel horse. He's very young and inexperienced, and like you say, no great expectation on his shoulders. Best way to be, really. After that first time, something's always expected of you. But I'm also very interested to see the young Armenian gymnasts as well. They wowed us at the Europeans with their pommel horse work.
Yeah, and this is an apparatus where actually we get a lot of longevity in gymnastics. Nariman Kurbanov from Kazakhstan, 27 years of age, qualified in top spot, but as Sam said, it's the pommel horse. There's not a lot between these gymnasts, so any mistakes and the opportunity for all 8 of the finalists to get onto the podium. And it's good to see some new names in the mix, as well as some of the old favourites. So 4 gymnasts will go onto the apparatus for their warm-up. There's your first 4. And I think that's a good draw for the young Brit. 4th up, gives him chance to do a good warm-up. I think if you're first up, you've got to get on and off quite quickly, get to the side, get yourself focused in the zone. But we'll see the American as well, following in the footsteps of the great Nadolski. Patrick Hoops.
As we've said earlier, this is very much a championships for the new generation to emerge, especially the last 2 Olympics having actually only been 3 years apart. Many gymnasts carried on through to Paris and have then either taken time off or finished. So it's really the time of the changing of the guard to a certain extent.
And which is great to give these gymnasts the opportunity. I mean, Hoops is the current American champion on this piece of apparatus, but these young Armenian lads, they did wowers, didn't they? They really have impressed us. I mean, they look so young, but can swing with such positivity. And this is a piece of apparatus I think we could only compare to the women's beam. You really need to be confident, and balance is obviously key.
Key, and like the women's beam, practice definitely makes perfect. You need numbers under your belt. But as we were saying, that between us, that pommel horse, you don't need a great big pitted gym to be able to practice pommel horse. You can do it in a school gym. You can do it in your garage if you've got a big enough garage. It's very accessible to people to become good on pommel horse without having to have huge facilities.
Well, I mean, we've not got the Olympic champion Rhys McLennan here, but actually he trained in his garage, didn't he, during COVID?
All through lockdown, yes.
They built a bit of a plywood room. Well, you can do that with a pommel horse, can't you? You can't really just knock up a rim and put a high bar or a set of parallel bars. And actually, the risk is far greater, you know, whereas a pommel horse, you can sort of afford one and put one up. So, yeah, great field. Very excited. There's the young Armenian. He'll be first up. Hamlet.
You can do floor if you've got a big enough rug.
Yes, but
not sprung though, Matt.
No, I was going to say not sprung.
I just came in at the back end of that conversation.
We were just saying that it's one of those pieces of apparatus you don't need a huge pitted gym that costs a fortune to practice pommel horse.
No. Well, so here we go then with the men's pommel final at the World Championships. Hamlet Manukyan of Armenia, the 4th highest qualifier. He's the European champion. And he's had a couple of goals at the World Cup Series as well. He's very handy on this piece.
And just look at the extension in the body shape. Well above the handles. These skills between the pommel handles. Gymnasts are allowed to move the handles to the width, preferred width, but he's going very well indeed. Crisp, full of energy, keeps the momentum. That is great hand placement. The forward travel, Magyar. Oh, I was just going to say faultless so far, and he's through. What a performance for the current European champion.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a flicker at the end, but...
Great recovery. 2 Armenian gymnasts in this final. But wow, I mean, talk about style and elegance on the pommel horse.
Absolutely, and I was thinking just before he did that slight bend of his knees that I've rarely watched a pommel horse performance with more confidence. You know, I didn't feel nervous for him, whereas quite often when I'm watching pommel horse I do feel nervous for the performer, but he just seems to have such rock solid technique, such flair, doesn't he?
The extension, isn't it, through his hips and the front of the swing when he pushes through.
And look how high he is above the handles, you know, there's no question of hitting them as you're circling round.
This is great. If you look at the forward travel there, the judges are looking for the hands to be parallel with each other. And if they're out, it's called skewing. So you can actually lose a 10th per circle if your hands... Look, there you can see, he just had to bend his knees. Up until that part, I would say it was a faultless routine.
But even that, Craig, it was only a slight flicker of the knees, wasn't it?
Yeah. And actually it meant you could get up to get the full amount for the dismount as well, which, you know, sometimes you have to sacrifice one for the other. 14.433. It's down a little bit on his qualification. They're going to be all in the 14s, are the medalists, certainly the high 14s if possible.
Well, he upped from difficulty from qualification by 2/10.
Yeah. Well, the new Patrick Hoops, the US pommel champion, he scored a 14.566. He's got a 6 on the difficulty, so this is one of the hardest pommel routines in this final.
Quite a tall gymnast. But then it makes this piece of apparatus look elegant. Oh, and that's good work on the one pommel handle there. Lovely extension. Lovely work. And again, very intricate. That really does build the difficulty. He's just running out of steam a little bit. You can see a bit of a hip flex. Come on, up into the handstand. He's through. Well, I think we could have a new leader.
Yeah, I mean, it's medal worthy, that one. Absolutely mastering the handles is Hoops.
Wonder what it's like on the rings.
Well, delight in the USA camp. That was a super start for them.
It was good. Just again, just a slight flicker. But I loved that middle section.
Very ambitious.
It just doesn't have the same extension on the circles. However, he's got a little bit more difficulty.
Yeah. He's up by 0.4, or he was, as far as qualification is concerned.
And even though he doesn't have quite the same extension, and he doesn't clear the handles quite so high, he does clear them.
Yeah.
It's not sort of deductible. The other one is virtuosity, isn't it?
Interesting over the sort of past couple of cycles how the Americans have greatly improved on the pommel horse. I mean, it used to be the real Achilles heel. We've seen them lead in team competitions, finish on the pommel horse and end up way down the field.
Yeah, well, Dorset took gold at the World Championships back in 2021. They've had 2 silvers and a bronze. Is Hoops going to join the medal hall? 14.566. It's exactly what he scored in qualification, and he got the 3rd highest score there.
Mr. Consistency.
Absolutely.
Zeinolla Idrissov of Kazakhstan. Next, just 19 years old. He's had a few World Cup medals on the circuit this year. Good warm-up for the World Champs.
Well, qualified in 8th place, so he's all to play for. Gymnast again with good extension. Look at the difference between his body hips, his line, and the pommel horse. Oh, and he did well there. That's a very difficult skill on the one pommel. Really builds the difficulty. Oh, up into the hands. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Now, sometimes you go, oh, I'm going to redo the dismount. Because he just came, that's 2 gymnasts come a bit of a cropper on that penultimate skill before the dismount.
Well, he's not going to redo it. He's off, and that's it.
He worked with tremendous speed, though, didn't he? Like,
did.
really zipped along. And that's something else that, for me, is indicative of really good pommel work. We've seen 3 really very impressive performances here already. Shame he just lost impetus towards the end. But the quality of this work was equal.
Well, as you said, Matt, he's done a couple of World Cups, first World Championships final. Great for Kazakhstan to be here, getting into these apparatus finals. See, it just didn't get up to the handstand. You need a minimum difficulty on the dismount. Well, it's one of the requirements.
Yeah, what a shame. And the thing is, the rhythm, when you've got it going and you're literally whipping round that fast, when you can't fight when you come off like that. You've just got to go with it. So 13.666 for Idrissov of Kazakhstan. The 4th gymnast in this World Pommel Final, Alexander Yolshin-Cash. Great Britain, Nottinghamshire. Very capable. He's got good difficulty. Posted a 5.8 in qualification. Come on, Alex. His World Championship debut.
Oh, and that's nice and smooth on the one pommel. It's a very difficult routine. So big risk, however big reward. Lovely travelling down the horse. That's the Wu travel. Forward travel with the Magyar. He'll come backwards with the Shavado. Come on, up into the handstand. Pirouettes off.
Oh!
Well, what a World Championships debut.
Well, he's grabbed the opportunity with both hands and put in an absolutely storming routine.
Wow, what a performance for this young gymnast. He didn't show a flicker of nerves there.
That was brilliant stuff.
Probably the very start was the most tentative, and he just built and built in confidence as he went through. And as Craig said, he built and built in difficulty. All that on one handle really lifts your difficulty.
And he coped well because there's no other gymnastics going on in the arena, so all eyes are on you. You could hear a pin drop.
Absolutely, he got right into the zone, didn't he, in his own world.
You see, for me, that's the only real issue in the routine. When he does that forward travel, it's one hand slightly in front of the other. You know, I was talking about the skewing part. That's where the judges are just taking these little tenths off. But a first World Championship final.
Brilliant.
Very, very proud. Well done, that man.
Well, how far into the 14s will he be? Patrick Hoops leads on 14.566. Manukyan 14.433, and the third place position at the moment 13.666. Fantastic stuff for Alex. Well-deserved place in this world final. He's a name we're going to be talking about well into the future. He's picked up the baton of pommel horse workers for Great Britain, and he's running with it.
Well, there's some big shoes to fill, aren't they? If you think about the history of Great Britain on the pommel horse.
Yeah, amazing, really. Max 3 times world champion, 2 silvers. Lewis 2 silvers back in 2010, 2015, and then Lewis with his 2 bronze medals as well, 07 and 11. 14.366. He's in third as it stands. Well done, that man.
What an impressive debut.
Very impressive. So there'll be a warm-up now for the remaining 4 gymnasts in this final. They'll get a chance to have a swing, warm-up, get ready. I'll bring Sam in from the studio if we can. We were just saying, Sam, how impressive that was for a first time out at the World Championships. Looking very, very comfortable on the world stage in this final.
Incredibly, really, Matt, from somebody so young and inexperienced on that big international stage. He looked very confident. It's a really difficult routine. You've seen him put a 5.8 up there. Well, the hardest routine we're going to see is a 6.0. So incredible, big shoes to fill, like Chris said there on commentary, but so impressed with Alex. And his score, to repeat his qualification score, again, like we said, you never know what's going to happen on pommel horse. He's done his job. He couldn't have done anything more. So really proud of Alex, and amazing work, amazing routine from him.
Now these lads just getting a touch of the pommel horse, and Aidan Lee is the next gymnast to go from Canada. Everybody's set and ready. He's the 5th highest qualifier. He's got a 5.6 difficulty, so 0.2 down on Alex.
Lovely smooth rhythm at the start. Oh! And, well, what about that then? That's a very difficult skill. It's called a sawn, where you have to spin around the one arm 180 degrees. I mean, the problem is with these gymnasts of this great quality, they make it look so easy, but it just goes to show if your shoulders are slightly offline, you're off. So that's 1 full mark. There you go, repeats again. And then on to the 1 pommel handle. Turns. Ooh, it's got a good extension. Travelling forwards with the woo. He'll do the Magyar. He's got good alignment on his hands. Just as he gets towards the end of the routine, the arms are going to fill with lactic acid. Has he got enough left to get up to handstand? Oh, and he comes off the wrong way. Well, not the outing he would have wanted.
Well, not today for the Canadian pommel champion.
That's just a reminder of how difficult this piece of apparatus really is.
Well, the first three gymnasts really made it look very simple, and a lot of this work is fabulous. Really clean, really good extension. But you have to have the stamina to go with it, and it's a piece of apparatus where it's easy to just make the odd mistake. A bit like beam, the margins for error are very slim. You don't have to be too far off to not be able to.
I also think actually the frame of the gymnast really does impact on this piece of apparatus. If you look at the Armenian guys, they've got a really slight figure. This gymnast looks quite tall, so that's long levers and having to generate the double leg circle. Obviously, you will fatigue a lot quicker, and you could just see he was tiring towards the end, even with the fall.
Yeah, so complicated as well to judge this, because when you look at the final scores, there'll be tenths between the medals and very intricate judging.
Yeah, very much so. It's one of those pieces where you have to be an expert to be able to judge it. You can't just glance across. Whereas, you know, when the gymnast makes a mistake on floor, it's much more obvious.
12.366 for Aidan Lee. He's in fifth, so Hoops leads. On that score of 14.566. And this gymnast could certainly challenge him. 14.6 in qualification. Yanming, 19 years old.
First handstand start of this competition. And technically, the Chinese gymnasts are fabulous on every piece of apparatus. I mean, look at the height there, just floats above the pommel handles. Got great speed and rhythm. And obviously, the faster you go, the easier it is to keep balanced. It's faultless so far. He's going to travel up into the handstand.
Wow.
Well, I think we might have a new leader.
That was so smooth. It really was a masterclass in pommel work.
It was mesmerising almost. It was so rhythmical, so on balance the whole time.
Right from the tricky start all the way through to the finish.
Yeah, a master on the apparatus, mastery of the apparatus, which of course is what the judges always want to see, complete mastery, and then you get your really big bonus scores.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what his difficulty score is when it's put up, because he's 0.2 easier than Alex. So, you know, if you're going to do easier work, then it's going to look more effortless.
Yeah, and 0.4 from Hoops. So, I mean, you look at nations, don't you, and they have their own style of gymnastics. The Chinese, across both male and female, have a really just perfect style of the way they perform things. The line, you know, the way that they go around the apparatus and make it look so easy. But we've almost seen that in the past as they've struggled with, because they're only used to perfection.
14.6. He's gone into the lead as Hong Yanming, 19 years old, a promising young Chinese gymnast.
And a 9 on execution. That's exactly, that for me, that sums up Chinese gymnastics.
Yeah, well, he's guaranteed himself a medal. There's 2 more gymnasts left to go in this final. Nariman Kurbanov of Kazakhstan is the highest qualifier. 14.7 he scored in qualification.
Well, this gymnast has his own skill, and that was it there. And he's a very, very tall gymnast. So he's got a lot slower double leg circle, a lot more controlled. And again,
he's gone.
And exactly, I was just thinking, he was a lot more controlled than what we've seen. And when you've got such a big frame, well, I mean, I think, well, that's one full mark.
And he can't come back from that to medal, can he? But it's almost like it was over-controlled and he didn't allow the swing to carry him through.
What a shame.
Now, we'll build a difficulty on the one pommel handle, but it's a bit too much too late. Up into the handstand. Well, what a shame.
Oh, man. He came here to rewrite the history books. Kazakhstan have never had a medalist on pommel horse at the World Championships, and that was their moment.
Olympic silver medalist.
What a shame.
Beautiful work, though, his lovely line. But like Craig said, it was a bit slow and it almost sort of ran out of steam. And that, of course, is one of the troubles when you are already a medalist, when you've got all that weight of expectation on your shoulders. It's quite a different deal to being Alex out here for the first time, first international.
Well, Alex has just beaten the Olympic silver medalist on pommels in his first World Championships. I mean, regardless of where he finishes, that is some achievement. But he just didn't look settled from the start. I don't know whether he felt the pressure of being the Olympic medalist up there. I mean, it's such a difficult routine, isn't it? 6.
Well, when you know you can win, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're going out as the highest qualifier and you're thinking, I've just got to get, if I can get through this,
I've got the gold.
I'm going to be on the podium. At least I'm going to be on the podium. And I think when you, well, who knows? I mean, I don't know what it's like to compete that level, but when you're going through in that moment, you allow yourself the chance to start thinking.
That's the danger.
13.533, 6th for now. One gymnast left to go in this World Pommel Final. And it is the 6th highest qualifier from Armenia. Mamikon Khachatryan took a silver medal at the Euros earlier this year on this piece.
Well, just watch this gymnast zip around this piece of apparatus. Completely different style from the previous performer. Up into the handstand, great separation, back down into the flare. Lovely original work. He's seen his teammate lose a bit of concentration. Forward travel, the Magyar. Chivardo, it's looking good. Come on, up into the handstand. Pull it!
Is that your champion? It was absolutely flawless. It really was spectacular. It had the lot, that.
Well, it's 2/10 up on Hong of China, who's currently leading. And for me, I think that was the better routine.
It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And this could be Armenia's first ever gold on pommel horse.
What a routine, full of complexity. Now, he absolutely lets the swing take him. He trusts himself. He doesn't try and over-control. He trusts his techniques, trusts his own ability, and really gave a really virtuoso performance there.
We saw Murdanyan earlier on the floor down there. He's got a couple of silvers for Armenia, but giving the pointers to his teammate as he just directed him towards the gold.
And look at, that's a great position. Look at the flexibility up into the handstand there. He's almost in box splits. And it's one of the gymnasts, when the first one came up, Christine, you said, oh, I don't feel worried about this. They look confident. And the speed they go is it reminds me of, you know, the good beam workers.
Yes.
They go onto the beam and they've got that confidence with the pace. They're not tentative at all. Well, I think that deserves to go into first place, but we'll see.
He's just 18 years old. Oh, it's second. 14.6.
Well, it's a tie.
But it goes down to the execution.
But it's the execution
Wow,
always wins out. So, Hong of China takes the gold on execution. What about that? A 19 and an 18-year-old going toe-to-toe. They get the same score, but because you have the difficulty added to the execution wins out.
Well, you have to say, this was phenomenal pommel final.
Well, certainly the top three.
Oh, superb.
And what about Hoops? Has he held on to the bronze?
Hoops gets the bronze. Hong takes the gold. Khachatryan, he's the silver medalist. And Hoops, the bronze. Alex Yolshin-Cash finishes 5th in this men's pommel final. But Patrick Hoops getting himself a bronze medal for Team USA, but Hong Yanming, 19 years old, he says, I am number 1.
Well, that's quite impressive for his first major championships to become a world champion. I mean, that poor lad there looks absolutely...
Well, I think he felt like we did when he, you know what I mean? It was such a exceptional routine under extreme pressure, but there's the results of the men's pommel final. Hong Yanming takes the gold for China. Mamikon Khachatryan wins the silver medal for Armenia, and Patrick Hoops for Team USA, he gets the bronze. Alexander Yolshin-Cash on his World Championship debut finishes in 5th for Great Britain. Chance to look back at Patrick Hoops. Second gymnast to go in this final. And he had a long wait to find out if he was going to be awarded that medal, but